Today we're going to be talking about incels. Incel is a term short for involuntary celibate. It is not so much an ideology as much as it is a kind of modern day phenomenon for a lot of the youths. It's mostly men, young men, under 30, that have never had relations. They often have never had so much as a kiss or a first date. Often these young men fail when they try to talk to girls, even before they get to texting them or to an actual first date. Incels are generally losers. That is why they fail with women. That is the core problem. And they become involuntary celibates because they're losers that the women don't want to date. Incel has become a derogatory term equivalent to losers because a lot of them are losers. And we generally see men that are fat or don't have good interaction skills. Many of them have weird hobbies like My Little Pony fan clubs, and many of them don't have good careers yet. Acceptance of these incels does not help. It does not help if mommy says that you are handsome. It does not help if you have male friends that are not losers. It doesn't help when you tell them they are perfect the way they are. It's just that you specifically have a boyfriend and are not into them. What matters the most is if girls they like don't like them back or don't give them a chance. It doesn't matter how much you're accepting if no one is willing to date them. Once these losers are incels, they become an at-risk group for radical ideologies. They can often be recruited into fascism, into extremist religion or religious extremism, racism, sexism, and anything that allows them to blame other groups rather than themselves for their failures. Because it's the Jews, it's the heretics, it's the sinners, it's the blacks, it's the women. It's never them. It's never kind of their own failing. Andrew Tate is a great example of a toxic personality that gets their attention. He tells them how to be real men. It resonates with them because he's offering them a way to improve themselves. He tells them to go to the gym, tells them to get money, he tells them how to get better results with partners, even if this doesn't build the totally healthy partnership we may want them to have, but at least it offers them a way to improve themselves. Jordan Peterson is a better version and something that is not perfect but could probably solve the issue significantly better. He's a professional psychologist and is getting traction on the internet because of his politics. Sometimes he gets into hot water, but his books are very, very good. He has books that amount to self-help books, but like great self-help books because they're written by a professor for psychology. And generally, he does tell people how to improve themselves, and that is the direction we want the incels to go. We want to make them not losers by improving themselves. The general cure for inceldom is to teach them how not to be losers. That's easier said than done. However, once you can teach them basic human interaction skills, make them shower, send them to the gym, once they get a good job and they can get the girl, then they kind of stop being incels and are less at risk for blaming the entire world except themselves. The job aspect is why many incels tend to be young. As they get older and richer, often money compensates for other things that they lack. Femcells are the female tense for the same word. Femcel is kind of like a female incel. However, it is radically different. Femcells don't fail to enter relationships altogether. They do have relationships, short-term relationships, and often not the type of relationships they want. They often want high-quality men that date them and then dump them, and they can also find a bunch of losers that will agree to date them long-term, but these are not the type of men that they actually want to date. One of the major issues is that women have inherent value that doesn't change. They are judged based on biology. Men lack value unless they function, and both sides feel discriminated by these rules. Based on this, we understand one of the major problems for women. Society values them the most in their 20s because of biological reasons. Society values them less as they age. Some femcells only start being femcells somewhere around the age of 25 to 30. They no longer get the type of guys they used to get when they were 20. Now they are competing with the next generation of 22-year-olds. They are also now stressed with finding good quality men to have children with because they do have a fertility time limit. That is to say that as they age, there's more at-risk pregnancies and a greater chance of autism amongst children. So it is best not to wait for your 50s or even sometimes for your 40s to have your kids. You should probably have them earlier rather than later. If you are in your 30s and you're asking yourself, where are all the good men? While you were finding yourself in your 20s, other women found the good men. Good luck with the scraps. One of the core issues in misunderstanding the situation is that men will date almost any woman for short-term relations, but will not commit to anyone who is not wife material. Many women think that since they got a high status man to date them short term, if they play their cards right in the next relationship, he will remain long term. But the issue is more complex than that. In order to explain in a bit more detail, I'll try to explain the dating scale. Now, many people, rate people, think that it works like a test, that everyone could be a 10, everyone could get a 100. But in the rating scales, if you're a 10, that means you're in the top 10% of the most desired people. If you're an 8, it does not mean that you're uglier. It usually means that 20% are more desired than you, and 70% are less desired than you, and 10% are more or less on your level. If someone is expected to commit, expect them to commit to someone who is more or less on their level or significantly higher. A 5 will commit to a 10. A 10 will not commit to a 5. Women will not have relationships with someone who is rated far below them. Men will have relations with women but will not commit to women who are far below them. This causes many women to go through man after man, thinking they are on their level and finally settling for a man closer to their actual level. Women also often regret their 20s. They find that things that they did then lower their score on the scale as they age. Um, Things like high body counts lower their ratings. Being a former stripper or an adult actress lowers your ranking. Unfortunately for them, nothing disappears from the internet. So perhaps you regret doing it, but the pictures are now there on there forever. And many women have found that their sons are being bullied when their sons' friends find old pictures from the internet. And generally, men don't want their sons to be bullied. Why date someone who's going to get the. Why have a child with someone if their son is going to end up being bullied for the things that she used to do? Yet again, with all the ideology videos, we come back to the question of relevancy. Why do we care? The first issue is that incels are a problem unto themselves. They are at-risk youths that sink into depression and into antisocial behaviors. Femcells kind of cause a breakdown in long-term family stability. That is also kind of relevant because we're talking about producing functional populations in the future. In both cases, the same issue is kind of leading them there, and that's a lack of clear rules and guidances for young people on how to date, and it leads them to waste their lives or large parts of their lives. and make mistakes they will be regretting for decades to come. It prevents generally the creation of stable families, which is the basic building block for larger societies and states. Hey guys, I'd like to wrap up this video by reminding you to please like, subscribe, and comment on my videos. All these things really help me out with the algorithm. If you have criticisms or think I can improve, comment. I'd like to get some feedback. And watch my other videos as well. If you like them as well, do the same over there. And if you really want to help me out, if you really want to take interest, you can always buy my book. It's on Amazon. And Kapistan by Noah Goodman.